Hello all and welcome back to Sky Factory for episode 11. This is Mord. This episode we're going to be getting into a little more mystical agriculture and also setting up a wireless flux network as we're starting to get sort of spread out here. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, we ask that you do that. It'll help you follow along. It'll help us know that you're watching. But we're going to get into things. So I've got my area here where we started last time, set up our Inferium plants, and what I basically do to get essences for now until we can get a harvester set up is I hold right click and I just kind of hold in and harvest these, and as I do that it helps the other ones grow. And as I go around, these grow faster. And I also have some growth accelerators that we also highlighted last episode underneath these to speed up the growth even further. So I can just keep getting these and building up these and then use my ME system to craft them into higher essences. And that's how we're doing it. So right now you can see I've gotten 2.5 stacks already from that. And we're going to keep on going with that until we have some build up. And then we're going to get into a few recipes. And here's what the growth accelerators look like from the bottom. So you can see they can be stacked underneath these dirt blocks, and everything above them speeds up, and the more you add, the faster they grow. I'm not sure what the vertical limit is, but for now I have 5 under each of them. Okay, now I've got some essences transferred in. I need to craft a few of this middle essence, and as you can see, I've got all the essence tiers built in now. So if I need to craft these, I can just do 4. It will take a look and say, hey, I've got 4 infusion crystals available. Let's just start the process. And it will craft them. As you can see, it goes through there, and it does take a little bit of time to finish up, but that's pretty nice for getting all the tiers of essences, and this is a pretty high tier essence, so they will craft with some speed, which is pretty nice. And I'm going to go over here and put this in the recipes. So one of the things we're going to look to start growing is boron, and you can see that we have our boron ingots and our tier 4 crafting seed, which actually we haven't really looked at those actual recipes, but you can see the crafting seeds are just basically just like the essences. They have tiers related to them, and you put 4 of the next level essence around the crafting seed to get to the tier you need. So it's pretty straightforward on how to do that. We're not going to make those just yet because we're going to set up the area first. And one of the first things we're going to look at is, since we want to run these harvesters and we want to run them kind of far away, we're going to use the Flux Networks add-on to actually create ourselves a Flux network so we can do wireless RF everywhere. So there are a few blocks that we need to introduce for that. One is the Flux core. That's obsidian around an Eye of Ender and 4 flux. Now the way you make flux in the normal mod pack, I think you have to take it down to bedrock and perform some magic down there. But in this mod, all you have to do is smelt redstone in a smeltery. So I added a recipe to our smeltery to make flux. Then you take 4 of those flux cores and you combine that with flux to make a flux block. And neither of those can be used for much until you actually use them to create this block, which is the flux controller. This one will actually set up your network, so it's pretty important. So we'll make that. And this is a flux plug, which allows you to add energy to whatever network you set up. So you would set this on your generators. So we'll make one. And then this is the flux point, and this is for taking it out and putting it into a machine. So you would just attach this to the machine that needs power, no matter where it is. I'm not sure what the range is on this, but it is pretty far. So what we can do, and we also need to make storage, and storage I went ahead and set up in here just because it's pretty extensive to make it. So you can see we've got different sizes, and I went ahead and added the recipes. But like for example, if I wanted to make this gargantuan, you can see it takes 164, almost 180 ender pearls, and I've already got one of the smaller size created, so that's to make 5 of them. And then this is just obsidian because I use the buckets to craft obsidian. So 719 obsidian, and that would automatically be done if I put those buckets in and the ender pearls, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to use the middle tier one, which we already created. So I'm going to put that here, and we'll set it up right. Yeah, we can set it up here for now. Let's go ahead and set up a flux controller, and we'll look at that. And what you have to do on this block is you just create your network. So I'm going to create a new network. I'm going to call it Mordenkaim's network. I'll set the password to password because it does require one. Oh, there, I can just set it to public. That'll work. And we'll just, you know what, instead of calling it that, let's call it, we'll just call it RF. Okay, and create, and we'll set, I like this color, so we'll just set it to that. Okay, so we've selected that. It tells us that this flux controller is for the RF network. We can also set our flux storage here, just so we can keep an eye on it from our main area. We'll also set this to the RF network, so we now have some storage. And then what we'll do is come up here. So what I'm going to do for now is I'm going to break this in, yeah, I'll break this here and here. And we're going to set up our plugs and such here. So what I'm going to do is set my flux plug here. Let's go ahead and break these. Flux plug here, and that goes into all three of those. We're going to set this to this network. So now we should be storing, if you go down and take a look now, we should be storing flux in this network from those three generators. And you can see that that's starting to fill up. Now, all I have to do is if I need to power a machine, which right now, this stuff is all hooked into that battery, which should be running down. What we can do, I should be able to just set this. Oh, you know what? I might need an input. So what we can do is, for now, I'm going to set it up here. And I'm going to go ahead and set this to the same network. So we're going to be pulling the power for these off of that network. So I'm going to get rid of this and get rid of this. And that is actually providing power to these auto clickers. So this one is actually set up on the new wireless network. I'm going to create a few more of these flux points off camera and get this stuff set up, but I wanted to show the basic configuration. This is how, with the flux plug, you can pull from your generators, and with the flux point, you can pull back from your network into whatever you need power in, and you don't have to run any cabling, right? You just set the points and the plugs wherever you need your power to come in or go out. So it's a lot less cabling, which is nice, and you can sort of monitor it all from here. So we will keep messing with that to get it set up a little further, and we'll be back when we set up our harvester, which actually, let's go over the recipe for it real quick. This is the Cyclic harvester. We're going to start with these. It's dispenser, emerald, nether quartz, diamond, and 3 obsidian. We'll set these up to start harvesting our mystical agriculture crops automatically and pull them into the ME system. So let's go ahead and use that. And this is also the Flux Configurator. I don't really need it for basic setup, but we will use it for our Flux network control if we need to. It's basically for like copy and pasting settings from your different network components. So we will create that, but we're not really using it for anything right now. So that sort of covers how we're going to be doing our flux storage, and then we will be back with setting up the harvester. Okay, we're back, and one of the things I wanted to show off on this is the wireless charging capability as well. We did have the charger before, but now if you change your wireless charging, you can actually turn on and turn off your armor slots and bauble slots and hotbar and apply it, and it will actually make it where it will auto charge. And I don't know what the range is, but it seems to be everywhere, right? So that's really nice. And so that's running, and I've got most of this stuff wired up. I still have some cleanup to do on that, but everything that's essential is running now over wireless power, which is really nice. And one thing I've started to do, and you can see now that I'm flying, my energy stays up. And one thing I've started to do is building out my Inferium farm. Here's the harvester. And what we did was we set a wireless flux point on the back of it to give it power, and then we pointed it, and you can actually set your preview area if you want to see the preview or not. And I'm starting to build out a mystical agriculture farm basically inside this area, and I might end up hiding this eventually, but for now we're going to run it this way. And then we have an item extraction cable coming down to a filing cabinet and just Inferium essence coming to that. So what I've been doing to build up my Inferium essence stores is you want to work your way through the Inferium essence seed hierarchy. So if we look at it, and then Inferium, you can see there's seeds that go all the way up to tier 5, and there's even a tier 6, which was added by mystical Agradditions. And so what I would recommend is you get one of these as soon as you can, just a single one. And what happens is if you right-click to harvest, you'll occasionally get a seed of that tier. So what I do is I will set up over this and just hold right click and let it go. And you'll see that occasionally you'll get a seed. There, when one came in, it's in the fourth slot. And I'll just sit here and even like pin down my right click key, and that will generate additional tier 6 seeds. So you don't have to keep using your essences to get your tier 6 seeds. You can just get them this way and use these essences instead to build up your growth accelerators, right? So I'm just going to keep doing this. And what I'm doing is all those essences that are coming in, I'm using my ME system to build these growth accelerators. So I put a pattern for the growth accelerators, and I'm going to fill this whole area probably 8 deep with growth accelerators, and we could even expand out, but this is the size of a single harvester. And I'll probably go that way and that way with additional fields and just keep up with that. And when I basically can just AFK and get more seeds. So right now I've got them at tier 4, tier 3-ish, but you can just go 1 tier 6 and really expand your farm out. So I'm going to keep doing that just to get our essences up. And before too long, we should have a pretty massive farm that's producing the base Inferium essence that we can build the rest of our essences off of. So I'm going to build some of that up, and then we'll come out and start branching out into mystical agriculture with resources. Okay, we've got our Inferium field set up here, and it's growing essence at a very quick rate. I mean, we get 10,000 after not a whole lot of time. These are all tier 6 seeds, and they've got growth accelerators underneath of them. You can see it goes down, I think 6 deep, 5 deep. Yeah, 5 deep. And I'm setting up 2 other areas here, and I'm going to use these for metals. Basically, all of the basic alloys are covered. So they have things like Invar, and there's all sorts of seeds, and I'll show some of those off. But I'm going to go ahead and expand these out. The way that I'm making my growth accelerators is in my ME system as well. So if I look at my growth accelerators, I've got another 400 of them queued up. But it's pretty easy to make them. You just keep making them to expand out, a couple hundred, and you just need to create stuff with auto crafting to do that. And then we build down our bases. And pretty soon we'll probably get some Enderium going, and at that point we'll get a Builder's Wand because this thing is a pain. So I'm going to probably be working towards Wand of the Lazy Builder, which is this, but I need... Oh, this is Ender Alloy. It might actually work. I think I have all this stuff, so maybe I'll get that set up before next time. The Ender Core, I think I need to right-click an Ender Crystal, which I think I can get those from Enderman. They're end crystals. So as long as we're talking about the same thing, I already have some that were from pristine ender matter. These end crystals here. So I'm hoping that's the same thing. We'll try that probably in the next segment, just to see if we can get our builder one going to keep those going. But let's take a look real quick at our metals. I've set up a few of the alloys and a few of the NuclearCraft metals here. They're all the same recipe. They're just different metals in the corners. So there's boron around superium and a tier 4 crafting seed. So you just match the essence with the crafting seed. We've got tritanium. We've got uranium. We've got manulian, which is from Tinker's Construct, and that's ardite and cobalt alloyed. Since we got ardite and cobalt saplings, I used those to get the metals. Thorium, which we got also for NuclearCraft. All this NuclearCraft stuff came from the Twilight Dimension, if you remember that episode. It was a few back. Same with the lithium crystal. That also came from Twilight. Magnesium and lithium. All those NuclearCraft things. And those will actually alloy into additional alloys, but what we're going to use for that is an alloy furnace. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, this alloy furnace. And let's put uses on that. And you can see there are quite a few alloys that can be created. And if you go up through the alloys, a lot of the NuclearCraft alloy stuff is there. So we're going to be using this for our second level alloys that can't be done via seeds. So we'll get all of our seeds in. Like we can get an Electrum seed, and there are steel, there's Invar. I didn't see Constantin, but we can get nickel and copper. So if that's not there, we'll probably end up creating that in here. So everything we can't create with seeds, we're going to use the alloy furnace to finish off. And that should get us to almost all of our metals. So I'm going to go ahead and get these set up there. I'll come back and we'll talk about the Builder's Wand, and then I'll use the Builder's Wand to expand out those growth accelerators. So I'll be right back with that. All right, so to show how we get the end crystals, we use our pristine Enderman matter from Deep Mob Learning. We stick it in here, and it will process whatever you have selected. And here's end crystal right here. So there's end pearls, which I still don't have automated. I'll probably get those in plants as well. But then if I switch to end crystals, we'll generate our end crystals. So same thing, just from getting pristine Enderman matter by running the Enderman model through that simulation chamber. And I'm not even sure it's going to work, but let's go ahead and take a look at this Inactive Ender Core Advanced. We need this to make an Ender Core Advanced to be able to make the wand of the Lazy Builder, which is what I'm hoping to use. So I'm going to make this Diamond, Ender Alloy, and Obsidian. And let's take a real quick look at the Ender Alloy recipe. It's just 2 eyes of Ender. I know we just looked at it, but Diamond, 2 gold, 2 iron, and 2 Obsidian. So that's all can be automated, and I actually have it in my system now to make. And let's go ahead and try to get an end crystal. I may not be able to set it here. We'll have to see. If I have to go to the end, we'll see. And we'll cut there if I do. Let's put it down. I don't want to blow anything up. So let's go ahead and go over somewhere that's a little safer if something does happen. I guess I can put it over here. And if I have to, I can rebuild this thing. Let's take a look. Oh no, it doesn't set here. So I'm going to go to the end. All right, let's try to set it up right about here. Will they let me set it? No. What if I can set it up here, like where they're supposed to go? Yeah, there it is. There's the Ender Crystal. And then we will take our core, which I swear I brought. There it is. So we'll use that for activating our Ender cores. Now that might be a little interesting. I bet there's a way we could automate that with some wireless ME stuff. But we'll play with that later. So now I've got my core. I'll go back. Oh, you know what? That cake disappeared, but I have it now. Let's go back here. We'll set it back down. I think an Enderman may have picked one of these up. You can use the teleport in the middle to get back. Like you defeated the end, which I actually didn't defeat the dragon in this game, but alright, so we've got this. Let's go down and make our wand. Boop. And I think I will go ahead and use this to extend our pads up there. We'll show that off real quick just so you can see how it works. Alright, so the way you use this thing is you hold Control and scroll your mouse to change the mode. And we're going to look for cube solid. And I think I can select a block. Yep. So you hold shift and left click the block to select it. And then you set it to cube solid. And I'm going to go over here so I don't mess up my ME wiring. And I'm going to select here. And then I'm going to come down here. And then you just right click. Oh. How do I do an ender charge? I'll have to figure that out and I'll be back. Alright, so this mod may be a little more complicated than I thought, but it looks to me like for the basic, well, this is actually the advanced capacitor, but for the basic setup, you have to charge this capacitor in the end by right-clicking an end crystal and charge this thing up, and then somehow install it into this wand, I believe. So we're going to try that. Let's go ahead and make it. It was the same ender alloy and just some obsidian and an ender pearl and a diamond. So it's not too difficult. We'll go to the end and charge this thing up on an end crystal. All right, so let's see. So this is charged up. And I don't know if I have to install it in the wand to use it or not. So we'll try that. But there is a way to set up a ender receiver that will charge this stuff automatically. We'll look into that much later. I just want to use this for the wand. So let me grab some materials and go over there. We'll give it a try. All right, we've got it. Let's try to build. Nope, not enough ender charge. So there must be a way to install this capacitor. Let me see how that works. Okay, I think we were missing a couple items. So let's just go over them real quick. This is the basic Ender alloy, Ender pearl and 4 iron ingots. It's the lower version of the advanced one we use to make the wand. And it's my first time really messing with this mod, so I have to figure out a couple of these blocks as we go. This is the tool workstation, which I believe is what we use to modify the actual tool and add capacitors. Slime ball, Ender alloy we just showed, and then obsidian chest and crafting table. And we also have an Ender infuser, which is used to convert Ender pearls into energy as well. Instead of using the end crystal, we'll probably use the end crystal, but I'll make it hopper, piston, furnace, and obsidian with the Ender alloys. So let's make those. I'm going to plop this down and just see if we can take a look at it and see what we can do in here. So it looks to me like you put this in here. It has a capacitor slot. It also has these, which look to be some sort of modifier. I'm not sure what they do yet, but hopefully this will be enough. It's probably like a linking crystal, I would guess. I think those are used to actually put items in there. Let's go ahead and get our growth accelerators and we'll go over there. I'll cut to it. Okay, now you can see I have my block set to growth accelerator. I have it set to cube solid, and I've selected the area I want to create them. I'm going to hold right click, let go, and I think I'm out of growth accelerators, but that works. So that's how I'm going to be doing my building. I'll probably make some more of those. I actually have more of them crafting right now. And one other thing I wanted to show is how I'm starting these seeds. I've got titanium, lithium, boron, dilithium, uranium, thorium, and magnesium, all the ones we just created. And I've created steel, which is just steel ingots, the same recipe. But what I'm doing to actually build these up is the same process that we had talked about before. And I'm just going to make a little room here, put 2 of them down, and then just basically take my watering can and then grow these. And when you right click these, they drop seeds occasionally. So you just want to stay over them and see I already got a seed. So I just sit here and get my seeds up. So you just need the first few, and then you can actually build as many seeds as you want. So I'm going to probably work on a few more alloys and stuff like that. I probably won't review the actual alloys, but you know, that's something that can be easily looked up. So I'm going to probably get that area over there also with some seeds going, and get all of these metals that I can't get through Tinker's Construct smelteries, and then we'll start working towards alloys after that with the alloy furnace. One other very quick thing that I noticed, I don't know if it's because I have 2 of the filing cabinets down here or what is causing it, but I had to add a chest here as a buffer. So when I didn't have this chest in as this buffer, these were not coming out. I don't know if it's not filtering properly, but if I break this, check this out. So now I come up and I look at this. What'll happen when it harvests, now that we've got some done, is oh, it actually takes them in now. Maybe it's not an issue anymore. Let's see. There must be something that's not filtering properly, but if I was filtering it through that chest, everything was fine. Okay, magnesium might be the culprit. So I have a magnesium essence in here, but it doesn't seem to be matching properly, and it could be something with that mod. But once you get a magnesium in there, it won't filter. But if I take it here and run it through this chest, I'll see if I can do it quick enough, it'll actually take it back into it and put it in the right spot. So, oops, I didn't mean to do that. But it'll take it here, and it'll suck that back in, and it'll sort it properly. See? So it goes back in, and then it ends up putting it in here. So I don't know exactly why it's doing that, but at least it works that way. So if you're having that issue, just try your chest buffer, and it seems to work fine. So I just put an extraction cable back out of that chest, and I also put it as a target in, and eventually it'll cycle it back in and put it in the filing cabinet, I guess by random chance. But that was a weird workaround. And other than that, we're going to go on, and I'll go ahead and get the other alloys set up. All right, and thanks to our builder's wand, you can see we've got all of our growth accelerators up and running. I have a few more metals I'm going to add: signalum, lumium, electrum, and invar. I also added steel, which is the one I just showed you. So we'll get these, and I'm going to go over and plant those, and those should be online, and then we'll have a nice stockpile of essences. As you can see now, if we come over to our ME system, they're all in storage buses, but we can look at our essences, and we've got quite a few different metals starting to show up. Then we'll get recipes into the ME system to actually turn these into ingots. So like if I want boron, Oops, if I want boron, I'll just do uses on this and do a square, and I get 3 boron ingots. So I'll get all those put into the ME system as patterns so we can get these metals as we need them. And then we'll start looking at the alloy furnace, probably with the rest of the episode. We'll get the alloy furnace set up and get some of those started to be put in there through an interface, some of the more advanced alloys. But let me go get that set up, and then I'll be back to set that up. Okay, we are back, and I'm ready to set up the alloy furnace. I did want to show off one recipe for ME, and it's a pretty common one, but I don't have one yet, and it is an interface terminal, which would be very useful if you have a lot of interfaces. It's easy to manage them. So what you do is, I actually clicked it, but it's an ME interface. I believe it was a engineering processor, and I don't remember the third component, but oh yeah, bright panel. So what we do is we put it with our other terminals here, and what we can do is then look at all of our interfaces and manage them. So you can see we have tons of them for molecular assemblers, and all of our inscribers are in here too. We can see everything in one place on our entire ME system. So it gets quite extensive, and ours is getting pretty large. So that is pretty useful. And let's go ahead and set up the alloy furnace. So our alloy furnace is basic plating, brick, furnace, copper solenoid. Same thing we used a couple episodes back when we created the other NuclearCraft machine. I'm trying to think of what it was called, the manufactory. A lot of the same components. So it's going to be, I'm going to set it up over here where the charger was. We don't need the charger anymore because we have wireless charging from our wireless power system, which is really cool. It's been nice. I actually went into Twilight Forest, and I was getting charged there. I was getting charged in the end. I don't know if there's a range on it, so it's pretty sweet. So let's go ahead and set up our interface. And I don't have any cable. All right, we put our cable down to our interface. We're also going to need our import bus to pull things out. I'll set it on this side. And I've got a couple acceleration cards here, so we'll accelerate that so it sucks it in quickly. And I'm sure there's probably a speed upgrade here that I'll probably have to put in, but for now this will work. And let's make a sample alloy. Let's do Ferroboron. I know we did it a little bit before, but it should be steel and boron. And I'm going to need to make one. So I want to say it's going to be 1 steel, 1 boron, and that should make that. We'll wait for that to complete. All right, it's done. And so what we'll do is a processing pattern, 1 steel. Oh, not 11 steel. I did that last time too. 1 steel, 1 boron, 1 steel, 1 boron, and 2 ferroboron alloys is the result. We're going to encode that, and we'll go set it on the interface, which we could use our interface terminal and go for the alloy furnace, see right there, and then we say that's going to be our ferroboron alloy right there, alloy furnace. And now I should be able to go in here and craft, next, start, and it should put the 2 of them in, and it is making it. See, and then it'll suck it back in just like any other setup, but we're providing 2 items, going to alloy them. So we'll put our other alloys in there as well. Another one we have is magnesium and boron, and I don't even remember what the alloy is called, but we'll put them in there, and then we'll also make a pattern for that. Yeah, one magnesium and 2 boron creates another alloy that we'll be using for NuclearCraft down the road. So we're going to get all those put into the interface, and we should have access to plenty of patterns on that. We'll get those added, and then we'll come back and probably start looking into finishing out the area around the farm. And that's going to be the stable building and also moving our livestock. We probably won't do that on camera, and we'll go from there. And here is the speed upgrade for NuclearCraft. It's pretty easy. 4 lapis, 4 redstone, and a weighted pressure plate. We're using these for the item extractors and Cyclic too, so we just need to keep, I think I'm going to have to get this in the ME system because we keep making them. And they are really easy to make. I've made 8 of them, and I'll just put them in the machines. I don't know what I just do that. Cool. And then we'll be ready to go. So that will make them much faster. The other one that we made was the triboride, magnesium diboride is what it was. And if we were going to do that, we'll put it in the alloy furnace, and we will make the same thing. So we go diboride, just test the speed here. That'll make 3 of them. And let's just make sure it works. Yeah, that's much faster. Perfect. So we are set up there. We'll come back with the farm. All right, we're back, and I've got about 5 minutes left in the episode. I wanted to go over a few more seeds, then we'll go up and take a look at the stable area. We've made a little progress up there, but these are a lot of the basic tier seeds that we need to get just to be able to make all the recipes that require combinations of different seeds. Like, for example, here is a nature cluster. And these are used to create nature's seeds. So cactus, pumpkin, wheat, and sugar. We get those, we put them in here, and we can put them in and create a tier 1 crafting seed into nature seeds, which are used for nature essences, which are used for quite a few different things. Same thing with dye clusters, ink sac, and then orange, magenta, and cyan dye. This has to be an ink sac, so I set up a little temporary squid farm over here. I did have one earlier, but you can see that's working fine. You just drop some water and then make a ring of cobble around it. It's not difficult to make. So we'll make our dye cluster. We'll do the same thing, same as the nature clusters, but these make dye seeds, and these have a lot of different uses. If you bring it up, you can make all the colors of dye. And the same thing with the nature seeds. You can make grass, you can make mycelium, many different options. Pumpkins, wheat, all sorts of things. So if you need food, it's a great way to do that. Mushrooms, all sorts of things. So those are really useful. And you can just put the crafting recipes in your ME system for making like the bigger food items. So that'll be really nice once we get some meat in there too. This is the end or the nether cluster and netherrack and soul sand. And then that makes nether seeds. And we'll make a couple of those, and we'll take a real quick look at the uses for those. We can make netherrack, soul sand, nether brick, and nether wart. So those are kind of nice as well. You can see we also use the nature essence there. Stone essence or stone seeds to get stone essence. It's just stone around a tier 1 crafting seed. Very easy. Not real useful, but this is used in combination with some recipes. So we can get things like granite and diorite and all sorts of different stones. I'll probably have to get nether quartz essence to make that happen. And we can also use fire essence, which we'll be making. This is dirt essence, using just dirt around it. Also really easy to make. This is used for grass and a few of the other recipes we've shown. You can see they make all sorts of things, so it's very useful to have that one around. This is the wood essence, same thing. It's one of those seeds that could be used for other things. So it makes different woods and different saplings, which we don't really need any of these, but we'll go ahead and make them. And I might go ahead and get some of the essences. I may or may not plant that. This is the water seeds, another one that we're going to use in combination with a lot of other things, but we can make a water bucket and we can really make clay out of it, which we can also do that out of our saplings, so we may not use that much either. And then to get the end cluster, we need to make chorus fruit. I think we can also find this in the end, but it's easy to make with the extraterrestrial matter, which we have a lot from the Enderman farming in Deep Mob Learning. We then smelt those to get popped chorus fruit and make a purple block. And then we take the end stone and purple block to make end clusters. We take the end clusters and put them in with the tier 4 crafting seed and Inferium essence to get end seeds, and that will give us end essence, which we can get end stone, purple blocks, and chorus fruit from that. It's good because we can use auto crafting to get those. So these essences are very handy for putting in an enemy system. And then we've also got our fire seeds, which if we look at the uses on those, flint, lava buckets, sand, and red sand, it gives us a quick way to get to those too. Which we also, this one is a little difficult to make out of saplings. This stuff is pretty easy, so we may use it for red sand. So we have that one handy. And we'll probably go up and plant those, but let's go up real quick and take a look at the stable area. It is coming together. I've started the foundation for the building. We've got our hay here that just to kind of show it's a stable area. Once I move these out of the way, we'll probably put a fence in here and probably grow a few horses to live inside those corrals. And we will end up moving these guys probably up around the field somewhere. This might be more of a horse area. I'm not real sure yet where that's going to go, but it's a good start. I don't like how some of this has turned out, but it's not a bad start for a stable. We'll see if we can take that and make it a little more fancy without making it look too fancy because it's just supposed to be a stable, right? So, otherwise, we've got our mystical agriculture farm up and running. We've sort of got our farm area started. We've started building some buildings, and we're going to get these essences going, and we should get a pretty good base for mystical agriculture. And we'll go from there. But that's going to be it for this episode. We'll see you next time.